Hello, my name is Raul Sanchez, and today I will be going over my week 4 CLA for my EDU 355 class, in which I will be going over the learning tasks that I believe would be very helpful in a classroom setting for both students who do have disabilities as well as students who do not. So my overall focus on the over the 4 weeks that we have learned about disabilities and both and disorders. My main focus that I chose to work on was the learning disabilities in specific. My background or my reason why for this was in the one of the week 3 readings videos, excuse me. There was a TED talk under How Much You Know About Intellectual Disabilities by Matthew Williams. Right here, I have displayed all my notes and my lesson plan itself, which will be displayed on the screen as well. Um, and in this, he is a Canadian speaker that was a speed skater, my bad, that also played basketball in the Special Olympics, and that was something new for me as I didn't know there was a Special Olympics which focused on learning disabilities. Um, I have a close family friend who participated in the Paralympics for Costa Rican national team, and that's something very special and very close to my family. So being able to relate it on that level was something that I really wanted to focus on, and his main thing was that he wanted to be treated like everyone else, and that's what the majority of the people in his situation feel like as well. So, in my 20-minute learning task, the activity is for second grade and it is called Ants on Apples, which could be used as a fun Friday activity. So, the main goal is for students to follow these directions that are given to them, improve on their fine motor skills, socialization, and work together with a partner. The materials that are needed include pre-cut bagged apples in slices, which will be handed out one per student. Peanut butter, raisins, plastic knives, and plates and napkins. So this is broken down as 5 minutes for introduction, 10 minutes of students working in their pairs, and then finally 5 minutes of reflection time as well. So in the first 5 minutes, it's an introduction and a breakdown of the lesson or activity that's going to be taking place. In this, we show the steps visually and the recipe and using large print. Um, First step is going to be taking apple slices out of the bag. And then the second step is spreading the peanut butter on top of them. The third step, adding 5 raisins per apple. This focuses on the listening skills and then the fine motor skills, being able to apply the peanut butter and then apply the raisins so that they don't fall off as well. And then these raisins represent the ants. And then finally, just enjoying the snack. Now, moving on to the second page, we continue with our first 5 minute introduction breakdown by discussing safety rules. So, especially dealing with second graders and with students from different range levels, it is very important to go over these rules and expectations. Some of these rules would be how to use a knife properly and how to properly handle it while being safe. You don't walk around with it. You keep it. You only use it when needed. It is not a toy, things of that nature. And then clean hands, teaching them that it is important to be cleanly and all that good stuff. After that, the teacher is going to model how to do it themselves under the projector. They are going to get the apples, put the peanut butter, put the raisins, and all that good stuff. So after that, it's the hands-on activity for 10 minutes. So there are two main things that we want to focus on in this section. The first was that students are supposed to work in pairs to complete the task. So especially working with learners with disabilities, it is important to keep in mind that the students are able to lean on each other to help each other out. Sometimes they might have difficulty in one area compared to the other, but having that involved classroom setting with other students that are in general education more often than not, they're able to bounce those ideas off of each other, help each other with a certain step, or if they're getting frustrated, calm each other down to let them know that everything's going okay. So that's very huge, especially for that socialization aspect and teamwork. Um, on the other end, the teacher is supposed to walk around during this time, be there for assistance, be there, be another aid, another help, a mentor, all that good stuff, so that the kids can actually enjoy their time while they're doing this, not actually just feeling like it's a task obligation, but actually enjoying it and all that stuff, while having positive affirmations, letting them know they're doing great, to not get frustrated, stuff like that. And then finally, the last 5 minutes of reflection and sharing time. Students are asked to share their favorite part of making the snack. So this allows them to reflect and think back on all of the things that they are struggling with or what they liked. Being just more self-conscious about what they're doing in their day-to-day things. And this is something simple, but that could transfer over. I also mentioned here some key questions that can be used for students, teachers to ask the students. Some of these are: what was the easiest or hardest part of this task or activity from Friday activity? How were you able to help your partner? This makes the students be more conscious of, even if they aren't needing any help, but their peer may be, not be so self-centered and think of that community aspect. And then what would you do differently next time? So let's say you didn't help someone or something like that. You could be like, oh, I could be a better friend and help out whoever it may be, or be less messy if they were making a mess, or things of that nature. So there are some adaptations that can be had through the learning disabilities. The first one is to hand out step-by-step visual recipe cards. So this lays it out easier, has it constantly there, not having to necessarily memorize from the first step that they did it, saw you do it, but having that on their desk right there can help with that retention and not getting as frustrated. And then on the other end, providing alternate tools. So for example, if they're struggling with the knife, have the spoon so that they don't get frustrated. If it's hard for the motor skills, that's a better option as well. Another option is to use like a thicker handle that's easier to maneuver. Like when we were in kindergarten, you had thicker pencils, stuff like that. And then the goal is obviously to have the closest to the general instructions, but if they're still just struggling, they can have alternate tools, or if that's still too difficult, having the pre-spread peanut butter as an option. This focuses on the visual support with the recipe card, and then the motor skill adjustments on the second strategy as well. So in this final page, I'll be going over, well, the reasons for choosing this task, which I already mentioned, was mainly because I saw I felt really impacted by that video or that TED Talk. So I wanted to incorporate that specific need that he mentioned, of feeling like he's part of, feeling like he can do anything else any other person can do. So incorporating the aspect into a simple task that students can enjoy themselves with, not necessarily a lesson per se, but more of a fun activity while they're still enjoying themselves and learning at the same time those motor skills, that instruction following, all that stuff that is very necessary for all levels of second grade, all students. And then besides that, how to promote equal participation, regardless of um, having a learning disability or not in the classroom. So there are four main things that I was able to come up with. First was through visual representations. So demonstrating each step beforehand makes sure all students are on the same page and able to grasp and understand everything. Um, this gives them equal opportunity, and then as well, having that extra support, as we mentioned, for those students that need a reminder. We're going to be walking around as teachers, as well as those little the little cards that show the recipe, so that will help as well for the students. And then along with that is partner work. So this is huge. Working in pairs allows for students who need some extra help to have peer assistance, and it fosters teamwork for the students that are helping as well. They notice that their peers are excelling and doing better. That's going to make them want to keep helping and growing their classmates in the future, and that creates a positive classroom environment all around. Um, and then each student still has their own snack, so they won't feel like they're less than on the other end if they ask for help or they need that help, because they still have their own thing that they could call theirs. They're just getting a little bit extra assistance from their peers, which is a good thing on those one step or two that they may need some extra help on. And that teaches them that it's okay to not always have the right answers or things like that, and asking for help is a good thing. So that's something that I believe is very important, and that partner work is one of the biggest parts of promoting an equal participation. So they're going to be able to go outside of the shell, and that's going to carry over into other aspects of the classroom. Um, and then providing substitutions. Um, so everyone's going to be able to participate in this activity, because if, let's say, you have an allergy, there will be substitutions that will be made for other things, like, let's say, peanut butter or raisins, whatever it may be. There's always a solution and something that you can sub in for. So having that conversation with your students, oh, does anyone have an allergy to this or this, will be very helpful for the student. And then finally, creating a safe space and encouraging environment. So as a teacher, what we say is very valuable to students, regardless of having a learning disability or not. So having that positive reinforcements and reminding students that every snack may look a little different, and that's okay, and making sure students are proud of their work and are happy at the end of the day, which is the biggest part, because as long as you're enjoying and getting the activity, that's the whole point. It's a fun Friday activity. It's not a rigorous lesson, but be happy and be proud of yourself, and have that support so that could fuel the students' confidence. And then I got my little apples at the bottom there as well. So thank you for listening, and yeah, thank you very much.